What makes a good product? Is it the price? Is it the value? Is it the actual utility of the item? Well, none of that matters because today we're looking at the worst products of all time and how bad their flops actually were. Let's do this. All right, so first up, we have the Galaxy Note 7 by Samsung in 2006, a tablet phone. Is this the one that exploded? Remember, like, they had to recall, like, 500,000 of them? Yes, so this is the one where the battery software resulted in the phones catching fire on several occasions, including on a Southwest Airlines flight. And then the Department of Transportation made it illegal to bring a Note 7 on a commercial flight. Imagine not being able to bring your phone on a flight. You could literally bring knives, guns, katanas, all in your checked baggage, but you can't bring your Galaxy Note 7. I would say that's a pretty bad fail. Now we have Super Train. It was a TV show, it looks like, in the 70s by NBC. It was the most expensive TV series ever aired, and let me guess, it flopped. So the model train set itself cost around $3 million, and the model crashed during its first demonstration. And then when it aired, it had poor ratings and negative reviews. Super Train, more like Super Fail. Coming in at 48, we have Eons, was a social media site. Why do I remember this? It was for baby boomers, well, there's your issue right there, and other internet users over the age of 50. The writing was on the wall. To create a social network for boomers is quite literally the dumbest thing you can do, because they're already on Facebook. Also YouTube, shout out to all the 50-plus-year-olds out there. I know there's a few of you, but demonstrated by my demographics right here. All right, so that one's pretty apparent. Mars Needs Moms. I mean, that's already one of the worst titles I've ever seen. It was a Disney movie. It grossed only $6.9 million in its opening weekend, despite having a $150 million budget. So what was the worst? So it was one of the worst flops in cinema history, and they say that the motion capture technology was still in its infancy. I would just fire everybody involved with the film, just a clean slate from 2011 onwards. Mobile ESPN. So what is this? Was it an app? So mobile ESPN required users to buy a specific phone just so they can consume the ESPN content as part of the subscription. All right, so basically it cost ESPN $150 million to roll out this service that's asking me to get an ESPN-specific phone. You know what? The only benefit of the doubt I'll give them is nobody knew what, like, the landscape of apps looked like back then. So they were just trying something new. Sometimes you gotta fail to grow. Now we have Lisa, produced by Apple. That's a pretty cool name for a computer. So it was a PC. Obviously looks like a microwave. This was a high-end personal computer with a graphical user interface, and it cost $10,000, which is roughly $25,000 today. They sold just 100,000 units. I love that they say that, and meanwhile that like translates to, I can't do math, but probably $100 million. What was their budget on it? 50 million. Did they not make profit on this, or am I just dumb and not good at math? But yeah, I would never buy a $25,000 computer, and I live my life on the computer. I mean, I touch grass. I'm saying like my career, like, you know what, I make YouTube video. Okay, yeah. Anyways, now we have Hot Wheels and Barbie computers. I'll tell you what, if you released a Barbie computer in July when that movie drops, that thing is going to sell units. So in 1999, Mattel announced that it entered a licensing agreement to sell Barbie and Hot Wheels computer. But I'm assuming like the software and all the actual chips and infrastructure of the computer isn't actually owned by Mattel, right? Like it's gotta be like just a branded existing computer. The move was a part to reconcile the declining sales of Barbie dolls. So Barbie dolls were failing in 99? I thought that was like the golden era. Crystal Pepsi, So this is just regular cola, but was clear and caffeine free. So it's basically everything you like about cola stripped out. So, oh, I like the caffeine, gone. Oh, I like the color in the bubbles, gone. How about Crystal Pepsi? It looks like seltzer. That's really gonna sell things. So 2 years after its release, and it was discontinued. Bye-bye. Next up is the Virtual Boy, a portable game console from Nintendo, and this was basically a foray into virtual reality, which is very early. You're like almost 30 years ahead of your time. That's pretty impressive. I like how they say sold just 770,000 units globally. I feel like at the time, that's pretty meaningful units. Like if you sell everything for like $100, you're basically making $100 million on this. iStrain, yeah, they just weren't ready for it yet. I wasn't even born yet. Crazy world. Now we have Quickster, which was introduced by Netflix. I actually remember this one. Yeah, delivered by mail DVD rental service. It was this and Redbox. Do you guys remember? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. It's like you used to go to a Walgreens and there was this red box that you would just, for some reason, it was like a vending machine of DVDs and you would just buy it there and you'd have to return it, I guess, just like Blockbuster style. But Quickster was that, but then they delivered it to you. So it was like the Amazon of movies. And then they're like, wait, let's just upload the movies to streaming services and you can just buy it at your home. And then, yeah, obviously failed. 47 Ronin was a movie with Keanu Reeves It lost $150 million, though. That's interesting because I don't think this man has ever taken an L in his life until this, I guess. But the fact that he's able to avoid this and nobody knows that he even made this movie, I think is a win. Microsoft Bob. Okay, and it was a user interface. This reminds me of that paperclip. What's his name? He's so annoying, that paperclip. If you're in the comment section right now and you're like, oh, Sam, like, that's his name, just please refrain from doing it because it's going to bring up very bad memories. I think his name was Clippy, actually. It's starting to resurface now, all the trauma from me having to interact with him. But anyways, Bob seems to be maybe a bit more friendly. I like his glasses, right? Glasses convey his intelligence. Maybe I should get some. Arch Deluxe, the burger with the grown-up taste. So it was a more gastronomic, higher-end hamburger with a grown-up taste. One commercial featured a child unable to enjoy it, but the adult can. They spent about $200 million, and they missed their billion-dollar expectation set for the first year, and then they discontinued it. I like what they went for, but again, sometimes going luxury, you have to know your market. Like the people who eat McDonald's, actually everybody eats McDonald's, what am I saying? But regardless, gourmet is just not your style. Stick to what you're good at, and that's it. Google Plus. Do you remember you had to create a Google Plus account to comment on YouTube back in like 2010? Like right now, imagine you had to create a Google Plus account to write Sam's the type of guy in the YouTube comment section. Maybe that would actually be a good thing. All right, anyways, now we have Wow Chips made by Frito-Lay. So it was a snack. Of course, here we go. They want to do the healthy snacking alternative. When are people going to learn that nobody actually wants to be healthy? They say they want to, but when push comes to shove and you have the taste of it in your mouth, you're like, wait a second, why don't I just have normal Doritos? It happened with thin Oreos. Hey, I just want double stuffed. It happens with all these like protein ice creams. Just give me Ben and Jerry's. Every single step of the way, people say they want to be healthy, and they always default to the unhealthy things. So you have to learn your lessons. All right, moving on to cars, we have the Edsel in 1957 from Ford. Edsel was the name of Henry Ford's son. It was supposed to be the car of the future, and they dubbed it E-Day. Nice campaign. Commercial disaster because it was overpriced, not futuristic, and generally ugly. I mean, it is ugly, but it does remind me of the 60s. They lost about $350 million on it. That is obviously a flop. Home, created by Facebook. Why do I not remember this? What? There was an app created by Facebook called Home. So it converts the home screen into a Facebook news feed, which is a decent idea because Apple does that now with their Apple News tab. If you swipe to the left and you have one of your widgets set as it, it's like effectively the same thing. So again, I think they were just pretty early, 10 years too early. Easy Squirt. Before I read this, I just want to make it known that Easy Squirt is not actually a bad product, and it failed because of dumb reasons. Whatever they're about to say is completely wrong, and Easy Squirt is actually great ketchup, and I loved it, especially the green one. I thought it was pretty cool. So the issue, they said, is that the novelty wore off quickly, and sales started to decline. At least they acknowledged it had like a sort of novelty, because I remember I'd come home from school, and like we were grilling and stuff. We had the Easy Squirt. Everyone was getting a squirt. You get a squirt. You get a squirt. You get a squirt. Blue, red, green, all the different colors. Just created like a real vibrance on the food. The DH-106 Comet, made by de Havilland. It was an airplane. I don't know why airplanes fail. Let's go ahead and see this. Encountered several unexplained fatal crashes. Okay, that'll do it. All right, next up we have Personal Power, a stain remover by Unilever, who owns pretty much every product you've ever consumed in your life. It had a really good stain removal formula called Accelerator, but the issue was that it damaged clothes at high temperatures. So it's like you put the Tide to Go on your shirt, you put it into the washing machine, and then you're like, wait a second, why is my shirt purple? Harley Davidson perfume. This is the one thing I don't even think we need to read this for. Harley Davidson perfume. I mean, who's trying to smell like castor motor oil? All right, we have Colgate kitchen entrees. All right, so basically they created pre-prepared frozen meals, but Americans had plenty of other options in the 80s, perhaps because consumers naturally associated the Colgate name with toothpaste. You think? All right, so now we have New Coke in 1985. So this was launched to celebrate the 100-year anniversary of the original formula. And of course, when you take something away from somebody that they previously liked, there's going to be outrage. And then they sneakily brought back Coca-Cola, the old formula, and rebranded it as Coca-Cola Classic. And then New Coke was just completely phased. Like, why would you think this is a good idea? Why evolve from a product that gave you 100 years of longevity? I think the average lifespan of a company is like 7 years. So you did what? 15 times that almost? And you wanted more. Touch of yogurt shampoo. I wonder why this failed. All right, so a yogurt shampoo was just what the American consumer wanted, except they had completely miscalculated. They were confused as to what they had bought because there was reported cases of people eating the shampoo. I don't know if that's so much on them. Like, you're buying shampoo. There's no world. It's like, I think I bought a blueberry shampoo once, but I wasn't putting it in my smoothies. So part of this definitely falls to the consumer. I don't have a lot of sympathy for them. All right, so now we have Terra Nova, which was a TV show by Fox. And this was canceled before the end of their first season. So it documented the time-traveling adventures of a 22nd century family fleeing a dystopian society for a prehistoric past. Okay, so the pilot cost $20 million. All right, so there was a flood that almost killed a crew member. They didn't meet expectations. All right, so just a failure of a show that they spent a lot of money on. So basically every Marvel project after 2019. Cheetos lip balm. Yeah, I mean, this certainly is slated to fail. Like, why would you want to put Cheetos on your lips? In fact, people try to get Cheetos off of them. Like, if you have Cheetos on your hands, I'm not actually going to suck my fingers. I feel like that would be a bit weird, but you get the point, right? Like, you want Cheetos in your mouth, not on your mouth. The whole point is to lick it off. And also, it's kind of nasty. Like, why is Chester licking the Cheetos bomb? You're giving the impression that you should be eating the Cheetos lip balm. All right, top 5 time, Premier smokeless cigarettes. So there was a safer way to use a cigarette. All right, but unfortunately people actually didn't want it because it tasted like an unpleasant chemical, like burning plastic. So they tried to create a safer cigarette, and in the process they ended up having people inhale burnt plastic, which is arguably worse and a faster track to cancer. Now we have Satis fries, which, let me guess, these are going to be healthy fries created by Burger King, right? A new menu item advertised as a healthy alternative to their traditional French fries. There you go. Used less porous batter, so there was less oil absorbed, okay? And they were more expensive as well. Everything's lining up for this to be an absolute fail. And I love how below it there's the Angry Whopper. So it's like, hey, we have this really fat burger with bacon and onion rings, and then above it though, you could save 30% of the calories. You want to save 60 calories? Get Satis fries. Wash down this 1,300 calorie burger with only 350 calories of fries. So you don't have to actually meet your entire daily intake with a single meal. You could budget for a water later. E.T. the Extraterrestrial, there was a video game. It was created after the film. There was only 5 weeks spent on development. That's crazy. I think GTA has been in production for what, like 13 years now? 5 weeks. They gotta get these devs at Rockstar. All right, 2 left. So we have the Newton, which was created by Apple in 1993, a personal digital assistant. The first PDA, though, was one of the biggest product flops of all time. So 1 year after the CEO coined the term PDA, okay, well, that's a really bad term because obviously PDA is what you do with your significant other. So it had innovative technology, but they only sold 50,000 units. That's really bad for Apple because I think before one of their flops was 750,000 units. So that's a massive drop off. And then the #1 product flop of all time throughout the entire history of the United States, and I guess the world, right? This isn't just the United States, I suppose. Google Glass. So these were eyeglasses created by Google, released to the public in 2012. And what was wrong with it? So there was privacy concerns, reported bugs, low battery life, bans from public spaces, and an inability to live up to all the hype that was around it. The interesting thing is that Google Glass would probably survive if they relaunched it today because people are more into like that whole AR thing. Like imagine playing Pokemon Go, but you don't have your phone and you're just like, you put on sunglasses and you're like, oh, there's a Pikachu. Oh, there's a Snorlax. Oh, there's a Gyarados. Maybe I should run. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos, click here or click here. Shout out to this person for subscribing. Make sure you hit the subscribe on your way out so this could possibly be you. Anyways, peace out.